I got to see an extended behind closed doors demo of Onimusha Way of the Sword, and I'm gonna break down exactly what I saw and tell you what I thought about it.
Presented by PlayStation Days of Play.
So, like I said, it's called Onimusha Way of the Sword, and that is a good indication of what it's trying to focus on from a gameplay perspective. If you play the older Onimusha games, because of when they came out and design limitations, they were quite straightforward when it came to combat. Whereas now, it's a little more intricate. You have combat through parries, you have special sword moves, finishes, that kind of stuff. So heavy focus on sword-based combat, which you're going up against Genma, who you might remember as being the demon element of the game. And it challenges you by mixing up the types of enemies that you get. So you have basic enemies that you'll fight and you can parry them, or you can do like a special attack which allows you to dodge and then follow up with a heavy strike that will instantly kill most of them. And then the familiar loop of Onimusha comes out. You have the gauntlet on your arm. You play as a Miyamoto Musashi, who you might know from Japanese like mythology and other Japanese media. And it's kind of his early days, and somehow he's ended up with the gauntlet. And so once you kill an enemy, you see the souls kind of like floating about, and they're different colors, and you do the thing where you suck them in, and that gives you either more health or experience and that kind of stuff. So the basic gameplay loop is very familiar to older Onimusha games. The stuff that we saw began in a kind of temple area, and it kind of guided the character through various spots where they could get into either skirmishes or big boss fights. The skirmishes started off fairly simple, 1 against 1, 2 against 2, that kind of stuff, sword-based combat with finishes, and then they introduced range-based characters where the kind of emphasis was on parrying the arrow projectiles back, which is something new to Onimusha. I'm gonna be a stereotypical me and compare it to Sekiro, but there is clearly an inspiration there, because Sekiro obviously is very focused around parrying, and this has that, but it's not quite as quick, it's not quite as precise, it seems like. I didn't get to play it, I just watched it. It looked like there was a little more forgivability to that, so it's a middle ground between something like Sekiro and how it used to be. Like I said, I didn't get to play it, but based on what I saw, it looked like it had enough nuance in the gameplay systems to be really, really engaging. One of the things that I really liked was when you did enough kind of damage to the posture, they would go into like a vulnerable phase, at which point you're presented with an option of where you want to strike the enemy. One of them would do severe damage, and it showed Miyamoto Musashi attacking the head, which big damage, and then the other one is attacking like an arm or another part of the body, which did a different kind of damage, maybe not as much, but also I think it looked like it gave you a different set of souls to use inside. There's like a meta strategy there where it's like, I could do more damage, but I need either experience or more health right now, so I'm gonna go for this, which is less damage, but my survivability goes up, which I thought was a really cool, interesting meta game beneath it. In terms of story, we didn't get too much out of it. It's fairly simple what we got out of it. It was Miyamoto Musashi, early days, trying to get rid of the gauntlet, so he doesn't like it. He's very kind of egotistical, and he's trying his best not to use his gauntlet and engage with it. The gauntlet has some sort of disembodied lady inside of it, and it's talking back and forth. I will say one of the things that I was kind of not too hot on was the kind of the voices. They seemed like they had kind of a Cockney English accent, which wasn't vibing with me. I thought it was a bit weird. It's not exactly how I would imagine Miyamoto Musashi sounding. However, in terms of how he looks, Capcom said he was modeled after Toshiro Mifune, who, if you're a fan of Japanese samurai fiction or movies, you will recognize. So story-wise, very basic stuff. You have this ongoing villain, I think his name was Ganryu, who appears, another sword master with a gauntlet. He's like Miyamoto Musashi's version of Majima, pops up, slightly unhinged, just wants to fight, loves blades, that kind of stuff. So he's got that same kind of energy, but British, so it's not as threatening. So yeah, that was the kind of story part of it. Visually, it looked really, really cool. I'm pretty sure it's RE engine, but it had a good amount of detail in it. Musashi himself looks really, really detailed. They showed some really nice looking facial expressions, and the quality of it, it was very dense in detail, which is what I liked about it. And it reminded me in a lot of ways, obviously, because they're stablemates of Resident Evil, where you don't have these vast environments, you have very controlled camera angles focused, not static, but like focused area environment. So it meant that it looks nicer and you can put some things in there. Nothing in the way of puzzles, which is another fundamental part of the survival horror genre, which Onimusha kind of is a spin-off of and was back in the day. It was just simple stuff like there's a gate blocked, you use your special, your Genma vision to kind of follow a demon trail to the demon that's actually like keeping that barrier in place. Take that out and then you get to go forward. So yeah, didn't play it, as I'll keep saying, but looked really, really exciting. I'm glad to see Onimusha is back. It looks like the recent Capcom titles, like Resident Evil, has given them the confidence to step back. I do think the recent resurgence in around samurai and swordplay, both in games and outside of it, has been a contributing factor to them bringing it back. And it looks like they're bringing back Onimusha with a little more style and a little more flair and a little more gameplay, intricacy and nuance and satisfaction and mechanics. So no idea when they're going to let us play it, but hopefully soon, because I'm very, very excited to check out more.